Well, happy Friday, everybody. My favorite day of the week. Yes, date night tonight and weekend coming up. So it's going to be a great time. Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, wherever you are on the planet. I'm Dr. Laurie Davis, and welcome to our show today. An exciting show today with all of these beautiful people who showed up for our panel today. We're streaming live on E360 TV, also on our Facebook page, Self-Worth, the Missing Link Superstars, which all of you are. Yay! And also on our YouTube channel, Laurie Davis Show Host. So today, ladies and gentlemen, and to our audience, we're going to introduce you to some of the speakers that will be appearing at our Recovery Summit on November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And a lot of people are asking me, well, why are you doing that? Like 3 whole days? Wow. I said, well, we need time to tell our stories. And our stories are to support and empower others to know that they're not alone. We did it. They can do it too. So we're going to start our day with calling upon Virginia Clark, who's going to share a little bit about herself and what she is going to be speaking about. So welcome, everybody. Over to you, Virginia. A bit about herself and what she is going to.
Good morning, everyone. Afternoon, wherever we're at. It's a good day. I am Virginia Clark, and I am in Alberta, Canada. And my recovery, not to give too much away, will follow along the lines of addictions, living with someone with addictions, and becoming someone who has addictions herself, and how I recovered and have stayed recovered. So for almost 4 years.
Cool. Anything else you want to share about yourself? You got a little bit of time left. What do you think was the most empowering thing you did for yourself during your recovery?
Oh, I am a mother of one, a 17-year-old teenager who knows everything. A wife of 20-some years. Don't let my husband see this. Yeah, we have an acreage outside of Lacombe County, Alberta, and we love it. Yeah, it's peaceful, it's quiet, it's winter. It is what it is.
Well, knowing a little bit about your story, I think that is the most empowering thing you did, was you did it for your family and yourself. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, myself first, always. You have to do it for yourself first. But having a teenager was something I had to think about going forward, because that is something at his age where I started myself. So absolutely.
Perfect.
Think about everyone, but yourself first. Always have to do it for yourself.
Mm-hmm. All right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you, Virginia. Over to you, Ramin. Mr. Ramin Modiri. Yeah. Also mention where you're from. Make sure you share that, everybody.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Coming to you from beautiful Southern Orange County, California. My name is Ramin, and so pleased to be part of this. My story will be about a teenager leaving his country and coming to something exciting, but also unknown and full of surprises. So my story goes, it was a beautiful fall day. I was in Tehran, Iran, and I received this wonderful letter that I was accepted to a high school in Champaign, Illinois, and they're offering me a visa. As a 16-year-old in third year of high school, that's every teenager's dream to come to America, and I thought life couldn't be better. So I got my passport. I went to get my visa from American Embassy, the same place that they were, in 1979, they were attacked and 52 hostages were taken. And it's interesting story that 40 years later, I met Atlanta's Fed president, which is a central bank, and Mr. Lockhart. And at that moment, when I went to get my visa, he was a Marine guarding that guarding the embassy at that time. So life is full of cycles. So basically, the story goes: this excitement and icing on the cake was my best friend also got a visa. So we can't wait. It's a new world we are coming to, and just the moment that I was saying goodbye to my mom at the airport. My mom is crying and says, "Ramin, I'm gonna miss you." I said, "Mom, not to worry. I'm coming back next year." And I did not see her for 10 years. And when we came to America, of course, we had a revolution in my country, and I became a boy and a man without a country. And the story will continue. What happened in those times with all the things going on in Iran and hostages and all the other stories. So thank you. Yeah.
And a little bit about who you are today and what you do.
All right. Well, I've been very fortunate that my destiny has taken me to fulfill a lot of my dreams. I became a portfolio manager and investment advisor, and I mixed my passion of soccer with my business. So I became advisor for many soccer professionals, British soccer professionals. So just a little tidbit how fun this is. I would go and meet with my soccer players, and we will talk about business for 2 minutes. Ramin, how did we do? Good. Okay. And we'll talk about soccer and watch the game and go to the pubs. And so life could not get better than that. But right now, my passion is education. And that's what I'm doing for the last 5 years, doing mentorship and working with the communities to educate them about finance and their self-value. So thank you.
Thank you so very much. All right. Over to you, Prince. We're going to do a little something different. Prince is going to help us end our summit, and he will be, I'm going to actually formally interview him, and also then he's going to do a bit of a performance for us. Well, I shouldn't say that because he never does a bit of a performance. Okay.
Thank
So,
you.
Prince, over to you just to share a little bit about yourself with the rest of our speakers this morning.
Well, yes, I am Prince Fleet Easton, and I'm coming from beautiful Palm Springs, California, where it's paradise 7 months out of the year. Then the rest of the time, it's Death Valley. But yes, I'm so happy to be joining this panel with all of you. Laurie and I are going to be doing an in-depth interview on how I recovered from self-worth. You know, we all have issues when we're growing up, and we tell ourselves stories, and these stories become part of our subconscious that limit us and stop us from achieving the goals that we are wanting to achieve. So I'm going to be discussing how Laurie's course helped me get to the place I am now, and now the world is opening up, and I'm becoming a global personality and a celebrity, and it's all because of Laurie.
No, you did the work.
I did the work. You guided me along the way and showed me those blockages that we don't even know that are there. You know, we have those records that play in our head, and we also have that chattering monkey mind that always tells us, it's always saying, are you good enough? We're not good enough. We're not good enough. And I always knew I was good enough, but there was always something back there in my subconscious stopping me from putting my foot over that line and taking that risk.
And I am also speaking too on the, on the Saturday. And I'm going to be talking about recovering from COVID-19 as far in terms of my business. So I'll get back to that. But Prince is a big part of that story. So I'll share that at the end. Over to you, Darren. Thank you, Prince. Darren, Mr. Darren, VIP Mills.
Could you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, good, great. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darren Mills, or Darren VIP Mills. The reason why I'm VIP, or a very important person, is because I believe that I'm a very important person. I also believe that everyone in the world is VIP as well. Every single person that walks this earth, as long as you have life, should be considered a very important person. So that's why I carry the name Darren VIP Mills. I'm broadcasting live from New York City. I'm currently, in my office live. Um, what is my recovery story? I have so many, but I'm going to be focusing on recovery after a traumatic event. I too, just like Ramin and Prince, have a lot of traumatic events that happened in my life. Specifically, certain things like being from Trinidad and Tobago, migrating to the USA at 12 years old, going to college in Baltimore, Maryland, and having an experience like no other over there. I've had a lot of bad things that I'm going to get into details to on the day of the conference that I have experienced. And what I've noticed through my reflection period is that through after every traumatic event, usually there's something that follows, whether it be disappointment, some type of hardship, and then you get those lingering thoughts, those bad thoughts, the whole world is against you, everyone is against you, and it feels like you're just stalling and ineffective, and you just can't get anywhere or get out of that blockage. So, I'm going to be talking about how to recover from traumatic events, and it could be anything, like I said, from immigrating, going to a new environment, going to a new state, going to a new school. It could be things related as far as I've been in a lot of violent situations as far as experience and witnessing a lot of not too much, but because of my environment, I was just kind of just in it. So it got to a point where it became normal, and I realized that it shouldn't be normal to have someone die and it's like, yeah, what's his name just passed away? He got shot the other day. And the tone became so normal, I realized something was wrong. I started my journey when I realized things was going a little left for me. When I realized that I was making for myself a lot of bad decisions, I ended up in jail. Ended up losing jobs. Ended up just on the floor, pretty much, and literally like on the floor of like one of my friend's apartment per se. And that's when it kind of hit me like why do I keep making these bad decisions? And I started to glean for education. At the time, believe it or not, I was already in a master's program. I was already highly educated, but I realized that my environment had a stronghold on me. Okay, it was a super stronghold, and I just couldn't get rid of the friends, the toxicity, all the bad things that could go wrong. And I started realizing that I had to make decisions for myself. And when I made the decision to move back to New York City in 2015 and to begin my journey as being trauma informed, it changed my life completely. I've
So
read.
I'm gonna interrupt you now because I don't want you to give away all your thunder.
Oh yeah. I got you. I got you. I'm gonna talk about the many different ways that I use to process pretty much all the adversity up until 2015.
Cool.
Pretty much everything that I did to get me to this point now. And as I sit here with you all now, I'm a say this, I'll give this away. I'm a recent grad, almost 2 weeks now, as a certified trauma and resilience coach. Um,
Mhm.
thank you. My goal with having I also have a master's degree in rehabilitation counseling. My goal is to create an atmosphere, or should I say, a coaching atmosphere for individuals to thrive. You
You're
know,
in the right place at the
yes,
right time with the
yes,
right people.
that's right. And the thing about reason why I like being a coach and why I took that direction is because everyone needs a coach. Think about it in the highest terms of from basketball players, tennis players, golfers, soccer players, right? And some of the best athletes, some of the best artists, some of the best just drivers, some of the best readers and writers. If you ask them, they all have some type of coach or mentor in their life that has helped them to push through that stall and ineffective period during their lives. And now I'm equipped with so many skill sets and so much information that I feel the need and I want to be able to help people understand themselves, understand their mindsets, but also understand the reality of going through an adversity and what's happening with you as a person, and like Laurie said, I was there, I did it, and I believe that everyone can do it too, just with a little bit of help, a little bit of coaching, and a little bit of encouragement to push through for self-confidence. And I look forward to November 4th. I speak on the 4th at 9 a.m. Mountain Time. That's 11 a.m. New York City time. And I'm geared up and I'm ready. And you guys see, I keep looking back and forth. I have an outline of specific things that I'm going to speak about. Not a speech now, just an outline for topics that I can touch on. So that
your time is up.
Oh, okay. So that's what I'm bringing to the table November 4th. Thank you guys for inviting me today, and thank you for having me in this room. I really appreciate everyone and Dr. Laurie for bringing me onto the show today.
Thank you so much, Darren. We're going to have so much fun together. I can just see it right now.
Thank you.
When you're speaking, you're already talking to the converted, you see, because we're all on the same page here. Okay. And we all know exactly what you're saying. And thank you for that, because it's just such a connection for everybody. Okay. I didn't want to interrupt you, but we have more people coming on. So I have to make sure.
No problem. I'll be here for a while because I'm currently at work, but I'll stay as long as I can. And then I want to get through with everyone and hear everyone out.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I love your enthusiasm. There's nothing like enthusiasm. It's the most amazing motivator, right next to love. Love and enthusiasm. You've got those two things, you're unstoppable. Over to you, Jody Lavello.
Hello, everybody. Happy day. My name is Jody Ann Lavello, and I am streaming to you live from Southern California. And I live pretty close to Ramin and also not too far from Prince. So fabulous. It's a great day here today. And I am going to be speaking to you about finding you again. Who is the true you? That is recreating and transforming you after years of abuse. I went through a horrific divorce and lost everything, my career, job. I didn't know who I was. I had no sense of self-esteem. I felt like I was under the dirt, hanging on to the roots and trying to find my way back out into the world. And my journey of healing was and still is amazing. It's every day. It's learning about me, trusting in my own thoughts, breaking the cycle, breaking those patterns, those old tapes. Took a walk one day and I saw an old VHS tape where all the tape was out. So that was another clue, like you're on the right path. You're breaking the tapes and moving forward. So it's going to be a great day. And I speak on Friday morning, and looking forward to seeing everybody. And one of the biggest decisions that I made was, one, to stand up to my abusive, now ex-husband, and to make a decision to free myself, to free my daughter, and to leave. And my daughter and I, we escaped my relationship, and it's been great ever since. Yeah.
Cool.
So, hey, today is the first day of the World Series. Yeah, go D-backs.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you, Jody. That was
Thank
beautiful.
you.
Can't wait to hear you. I'm having to have the privilege of listening to everybody. I am so pleased about that. All right, over to you, Mr. Doug Smith.
Hey, Doug Smith coming to you from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. I'm up here. It's just such a pleasure to be with you. Thanks, Laurie. for inviting me. It's wonderful, and it's been good getting to know you, Ramin. That's a talented presentation. If you haven't seen his presentation, go see his presentation because it's absolutely phenomenal. So I'm up here in Ottawa. I was 18 years old. I grew up on the Ottawa River, which is right here. I lived back on the Ottawa River. I ended up going to the NHL, second pick overall. So I was 18 years old, first year of the 18-year-old draft. I ended up in LA, and everything changed for me. The whole meaning behind the game changed for me. After a few years in Los Angeles, it was like it wasn't fun anymore, and I started playing hockey not because I liked it, but because I was good at it. And it almost destroyed me in Los Angeles because I was the youngest player ever drafted by the Kings, and it was the first year of the 18-year-old draft. And you can imagine in 1981 what happens in the dressing room with no cameras. And I was just there to play, and I'm this odd professional hockey player who's completely right-brained, like I'm not left-brained at all. So like I'm just trying to figure out how to be friends, and yet you got a 35-year-old guy in the room wanting to take you out because you might take his job, and I didn't know what was going on in that environment. And finally, I got traded to the Buffalo Sabres. Scotty Bowman, the winningest coach of all time, trades for me. I ended up in Buffalo. And I end up being one of the top players in the NHL within a month of being there. And it had nothing to do with my physical ability. I had been destroyed in Los Angeles. I was a healthy scratch sitting in the stands, not even playing night to night. And I get to Buffalo, and within 3 weeks, I'm on the top line in the NHL and had absolutely nothing to do with my physical ability. It was all mental. And so I designed a system after I left the game because the end of my career, it was sudden. My career ended with a broken neck and a spinal cord injury, and that changed my whole world. Because when the hockey came to an end, I knew I had to do better. When I was lying on the ice, I knew I had to do better in my next life than I had done as a professional athlete. And there were certain mechanisms that I had to implement, and that's what I talk about in my presentation, what I implemented to be able to make the change from professional athlete to civilian. It's a different economy in the professional athlete world to getting along and conducting business and sharing a story about how I got better and didn't just fade away, as an athlete. So thank you, Laurie, for having me. I've written a couple of books on the subject, so I look forward to sharing with you and seeing your work as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Doug. Great story. Wow. Well, I'm Laurie Davis, and I'm going to come streaming live to you from snowy, the great northwestern part of this beautiful country that we live in. And once the snow arrives, it doesn't leave, and that's winter, and that's fine with me. So I have many recovery stories as well that I could share, all the way from being sexually assaulted as a young girl at the age of 12. I went through losing my husband through a 2-time suicide attempt and ultimate disappearance in 1986. He's been on a missing persons list since 1986. He was 34. I was on my own for 5 years and went out one night and looked across the crowded room. There he was, the next man of my dreams. Never marry anybody you meet in a bar, okay? Just say it. So there he was, tall, dark, and handsome. And I went, I'm going to marry that. And I did. It lasted 18 months because he liked his mommy better than he liked me. So I packed his bags and drove him home back to mom. And now I'm on my own another 5 years before I meet the amazing Ronald Davis. So I have that. I spent 60 days in jail for a crime that was never committed. How does that work? And that's another story. And we're actually writing a book about that now. That was 25 years ago.
Wow.
And the book is called Abuse of Power. And interestingly, in that journey, I was never arrested. I was never interviewed by the police. I was in a courtroom for 2.5 years. I lost everything. I spent 60 days in jail. I was never fingerprinted. I was never photographed. I never had a parole officer, or did I have to ever report to one. I have no criminal record, and I maintained my passport. How does that happen?
That's a good book. That's a good book, Laurie.
That's a movie, man.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's
That's a
spectacular.
movie. We're working on that right now. Screenplay.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. Sylvia Somerville is helping me with that. You know, I mean, I have so much. My mom was 16 when I was born. Like, how do you survive with a parent who's 16, who's not even a parent yet, still a child? So I have lots of recovery stories. And then last year I had cancer. Like, really? I looked up to the sky and I went, really? Now what's this about? Okay, you needed me to be incarcerated so I could get an inside picture of what that looks like. I did that, no problem. I was a model prisoner. Darren, you and I have got great stories to share. Do I look like somebody that ever went to jail? No, but I did. And I learned lots in there, lots about the legal system. And I had never had a speeding ticket. I didn't know how to break the law. So we have these journeys, because out of those journeys are things that we needed to know. And so last year with the cancer, I mean, I'm completely cancer free. It was hardly any there, but you know, it was, now I have to get to experience the medical system, because the medical system, I had not been in a hospital in decades. So I didn't know anything about it. So I guess I had to learn. And the same with, you know, so I've learned lots about the educational system, been there, right? The medical system, the judicial system, and the legal system. I've had a round, I was bankrupt at one time, so I had a round with the financial system. I think I've covered them all now. It's pretty cool. And I've even now signed up to go to the gym, so I'm going to learn about that. So it's like, okay, we have to go through things. And and in 1984, my round with the mental health care system, when my husband tried to kill himself twice in a week. And all of a sudden, I'm in a mental institution with him. I don't know if you ever watched the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Absolutely. I lived in that. There was even a Nurse Ratched in there. I'm serious. And the mental health care system in 1984 was a dinosaur. It still is a dinosaur. So that's why we're here, to help people recognize and realize there are alternative ways to get through stuff. Not everybody needs a therapist. I had a client 3 years ago. She had been in therapy for 25 years and had not made one change. So our recovery summit is to bring some of these modalities and alternative ways to get well to the table, because people may not know about Darren's work or Doug's work in the area of trauma. They may not know your work in the area. Oh, and then Prince, shall we talk? You know, he's in the entertainment industry. That's another whole kettle of fish.
Yes, it's dog eat dog.
No kidding. It's chew you up and spit you out all over again 3 or 4 times. So I've been involved in that too. So it's just a whole mirage of people real people. We're all real people. We have real lives. So when COVID hit, I mean, I could talk about all that stuff I just mentioned, but the one thing I want to talk about, because I wanted to do something around business, and I survived COVID-19 by my fingernails, I might add, because all of a sudden my main stream of income, which was my in-person retreat business, went down the toilet. Did you know that there were 250 million businesses that went down during COVID and have never recovered? So I want to talk about that. Now, Prince came into my life just at the right time, because now I have no customers. I'd worked online for years, and I'm like, Darren, I won't share all my thunder, but I met Prince through another online network, and I could see the sadness in his eyes. And I thought, who's this guy? So anyway, I reached out and I connected with him, and I told him what was going on for me. And I said, you know, we could help each other. And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I have a toolkit that maybe would be of value to you, but I have never delivered it online. It's always been an in-person experience. Mm-hmm. So would you help me no money exchanging hands, pilot doing our retreat online. So that's our 10-hour retreat called Reclaiming My Self-Worth.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you have been through it, some of you have not. But anyway, we worked together. And then Prince stepped into the empowerment program and took 40 more workshops after that, which I recommend as follow-up. So he helped us to pilot the fact that we could actually do our retreat online.
Let me share this. Let me share this. She scared the crap out of me when I first met her.
You tell them why.
Well, we were doing another show, and she was the facilitator, and she has a very strong personality. And she, when people were maybe drifting off or going too long, that authority voice would come on there, and every time she did it, it would make me jump and cringe. And it was and it was like, people, we were talking, I talked to other people about it, and I said, I don't know. I said, God, she scares the crap out of me. I'm not sure if I like her or not. And so when she approached me about this, and then I got to know her, then I found out she was underneath all that, she's a pussycat.
So he was the person who helped me. And I'm going to talk about that in my presentation, because we can't really get anywhere without each other. We're here to help each other in whatever way we possibly can. So Prince became that for me, and we became friends. And of course, I become friends with all my clients, so be careful. And we've been in cahoots ever since. And every once in a while, I have him on the show, and we do a movie review, and we pick a celebrity or we pick a movie that has a particular story and talk about it. So that's been a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So with each of you, I've said to Ramin and Virginia and Jody, people who've been here for a while, once you work with me, we have to remain friends because we know too much. Anybody want to comment on that? Because when you bare your soul and you feel safe to do that, like I just did today, I don't care who knows all that anymore. It's very liberating, and it's very and when we get liberated from either those blocks or those limiting beliefs or whatever, it supports us in such a big way that we become extremely even more creative than we already are, right? Because the energy is not being consumed by those other things. So over to you, panel. Does anybody need to leave right now? If you need to leave, maybe this would be the good time. Okay, Jody, we'll say goodbye to you right now. And I am expecting a couple of other people, so we'll just keep chatting until that happens.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great weekend.
You too,
Okay,
Jody.
thank you.
I've got 7 minutes, so I'm good.
Okay.
I'm gonna
All
hang
right.
out for
Why
7.
don't we turn the mic over to you then? And what have you got to say?
I got
about what we're discussing.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you got 2 minutes, Darren? You go ahead then, Darren.
Oh yeah, I have to get ready to get out of here too, but I just want to say that I do look forward to meeting up with you guys in future endeavors. I feel like the same as you, Dr. Laurie. I like this safe space to talk about trauma and your own feelings. Most important word, safe. A lot of folks don't feel safe to be vulnerable. That's why they're not, and that's what triggers a lot of other different areas. I look forward to the summit. I look forward to engaging with you all again. Rami, I just hit Google down too as well, Google and Tesla. Okay, I'm into stock trading, and I understand the psychology, not only of life, but of the stock market as well, okay?
All right.
Got my levels drawn. I know how to make that happen, man. I've been killing ever since August, nonstop. I'm 18, no losses since August. Unreal, right? Doug, I used to be an NCAA 1 track and field athlete. I know your pain. I sprained my hamstring in 2008. Kicking with the Jamaicans, training for the Olympics for the 08, and I busted my hamstrings in Maryland. So I feel both of our pains in the sense. I know what it's like. I just want to say thank you all for having me, Dr. Laurie. We'll talk soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Virginia, you have to go next.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what to talk about. I've got a couple of different lives, really. I've got the life of getting to the NHL and realizing it wasn't what it was supposed to be, and then I've got the life of having a career end instantly and trying to figure out how to put the pieces back together. I got to the NHL because I was surrounded by love. I was surrounded by talent, and there was way more talent that never made it than ever did. And my mother used to drive from Ottawa to Windsor, which is an 8-hour drive to watch one hockey game and then drive back home. So I always had somebody in the stands that cared about me, right? And that's all we need. I talk about that in my presentation. I show the pictures of her in the paper where she's just this super fan, you know, and she actually got me drafted to my hometown, my junior team. So she became the secretary of the Ottawa District Hockey Association just to protect me and get me drafted from the P to the Ottawa 67s as an underage. And then when I went to LA, she lost her hold on raising me, right? And then I let Los Angeles raise me. And at the time, like the drug called cocaine really wasn't illegal then in 1981, because in 1978 that was the Johnny Depp movie Blow, right? And if you fast forward to 81, all the import of cocaine is now coming in through Los Angeles, and it's flooding into the professional sports environment, right? So we had 6 guys on the team that were just continuously, and every house you would go into in Los Angeles at the time. And I lived in Manhattan Beach. Everybody had cocaine right there at the front door. It was just available to you in the circles that I traveled in, because I was going up to Pickford Mansion and the Grotto and the Playboy Mansion. All that stuff was sort of in my wheelhouse, right? Because I was the first player on the LA Kings to ever have a Porsche, right? Before that, they didn't make enough money. And so the older guys weren't happy with me about that either, right? So it was like I had to fight my own teammates in practice because the coach set it up for them to teach me a lesson. So that was happening, right? But it could never happen today because it'd be on camera and there'd be lawsuits. So
yeah.
So that's my story. It was a weird life, and when I broke my neck, it was like I took a breath of relief, and I went, "Oh my God, thank goodness that's over." But I was lying there with a broken neck, so I had to do something about that, and that's what I talk about in my presentation. So I won't go on anymore.
Doug, thank you so very much for being here. What a delight you are.
Oh, I just love it, Laurie, and let's build it up. And if anybody has any questions or wants to network, happy to chat.
Right on. Thank you. We'll be sending out a master list of everybody and their contact info. So.
Okay, I got 2 minutes. I got 2 minutes left. So somebody else go ahead.
Virginia. She's having internet issues today, I think.
I'm just excited to share. I think the more we share, the more we heal. Oh, yeah, probably. That's normal. The more we share, the more we heal. So I find the more I can get my story out, the more I heal as well as heal others. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And we have so many amazing speakers. I'm looking forward to hearing others as well. Thank you, Laurie.
Absolutely.
So, Prince, what do you do? I'm really curious. Like I know you're an actor.
Google them.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that's what I say. Google me. I think I have like 6 pages on Google.
Okay, great. I will. Yeah.
Whenever I want to know what I'm doing, I Google myself.
Easton, I wanted to hear it from you.
Well, I'm a singer and an actor, a little bit of everything. I have my hand in everything. I do a lot of humanitarian work. I work with adults that are physically and mentally challenged, and I'm on the board of directors of an incredible school up in San Jose, California. It's an art school for those that are challenged, and we offer degrees in dance, acting, working in front of the camera, behind the camera.
Wow.
So I have my hand in a lot of different aspects of life.
Have you produced a record?
I have a single. I have 2 singles. Well, I have 2 songs out right now. I have a single out called Shine, and it's on Apple, it's on Spotify, iTunes, and it's doing really well. And there's a lot of interest for it for soundtrack of feature films.
I
And-
got to
ahead.
introduce you to my buddy Rick Varag, who worked with Aldo Nova, right? And he helped Johnny. He helped write the Dead or Alive album, right? As well.
Okay.
So he's in LA, right? I still maintain some friends. So is that where you are in Los Angeles?
No, I'm in Palm Springs. I'm 2 hours.
Remember-
Oh yeah, I know Palm Springs. yeah.
Excuse me. This is a TV show.
Yes.
Yes, we have to remember we're being watched. So
Yes.
maybe we shouldn't be name dropping or anything.
Okay.
Just
Oh yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah, I'm just curious. He'd be
that's what
fine. He's a brother, man. He's a brother.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
that's what I do. And like I said, just Google me and you'll find all kind of stuff.
Okay, great. We'll make some connections. Wonderful.
Over to you, Ramin. Your thoughts
Yeah.
as you're sitting there. Thank
I'm
you, Doug.
going to leave in couple. Oh, first of all, Laurie, I noticed there's a time, the clock on the.
Go ahead.
There we go. The clock, it says live. Is that going to be available when we're talking? Yeah.
I'm sorry. What are you asking?
There's a timer on the corner.
Yes.
So that would be on when we're talking.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's helpful.
Uh-huh.
It's a good timer.
Well,
Anyway.
you should use your own timer
I
that day.
understand, but it's like visually I'm looking at, so perfect.
Yes. But
Awesome.
it may not show because we're doing it by Zoom, and this is another platform.
Oh,
StreamYard.
okay. That's my question. So it would be by
Right.
Zoom. Got
Yeah.
it. Thank you.
Very much.
All right. Well, no, I think everybody's excited. So we have a exciting group, and it makes us curious. Imagine what happens to the audience. I'm actually curious to hear about my own story. About others.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear everybody.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anyway,
What
so
I'm
it's
going
always
to
a joy.
Yeah, right. And then we'll have registrants with us too. So it'll be an exciting time, and you're welcome to join us. Our speakers can all come and stay and listen to others or whatever. Just floating in and out. That's kind of how I wanted it to go, was just to have people float in and out. So if you're listening and you're thinking about joining us, just if you know any of these people that are on the show today, just contact them for tickets, and they'll take care of you. So yes, it's going to be a lot of fun. And people are asking me already, so when is the next one? I have a recovery story, but my plan is to have a core group of people such as ourselves running that and working that. And then let's say if someone can't be at the next one, we can slot in another speaker. So I think that it's a community that will grow and go because, as we said, when you can tell your story like publicly, everything that happened to you, like I just did on the show, then you have healed. And you're not embarrassed or you're not shy, saying whatever you need to say around your life, because that was my journey, and that's what got us here right now. So I'm really excited about our lineup. We have some incredible people, all of you, plus others. We've had some regrets, so I'm just going to take a couple of minutes here and share some of the other speakers. So we have a beautiful young woman. Her name is Cheyenne McDonald. And she is going to talk about how she broke the chains of mental illness, addictions, and gang life. And she's just gorgeous. And she could be in a movie. She's so beautiful. Then, of course, we have former chief Leonard standing on the road. And he's going to be talking about how he grew up, somewhat impoverished and disadvantaged, but ended up becoming Grand Chief of his nation. And that's quite an accomplishment, self-educated, and tragedy along the way. And we have Diane LaFond, who is the ombudsperson, the very first Canadian ombudsperson for our Indigenous community. And her role, she's going to be talking about how she grew up with two parents who attended residential school, and as in the States, Indian boarding school, and was the product of that lack of parenting. And it's called intergenerational trauma. We have Kathy Filion. Kathy's going to speak about losing 2 of her 3 children. She had her first baby, was stillborn, and then in 2020 lost her son to a rare form of cancer at 22, and how they, as a couple, have moved on from that. So many incredible speakers. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to be here. Of course, Dr. Verlaine Crawford, she was here yesterday. She was stabbed in a parking lot in her 20s. And she talks about how she should have listened to her intuition to keep on going by that guy that looked like he was a guard. And he wasn't a guard. He was in a uniform. So she thought she was safe. Kay Sheffield, 2-time cancer survivor, and was left with 3 babies. Her husband walked out when the kids were 6 months, 3 and 6, many years ago. There's so much, isn't there? There's so many stories. So I'm looking forward to this platform of being able to provide our viewers and our listeners with another way to know that they're not alone. We did it. They can do it. And our stories are all very encouraging for people to look past the past, right? And why is that important? To be able to put that behind us. So important. So we have about 10 minutes left. Ramin, you have something you want to say? Go for it.
No, I just have to say goodbye. Thank you so much.
You have to say see ya.
Yes,
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye now.
Okay. Am I going to be alone? We just talked about I don't want to be alone. Oh, look who it is. The end of the show.
The
right?
end. Oh, of course. It's the 2. I was going to say the 2 troublemakers now.
Yes. Well, we forgot to do our little deal. We forgot to do our little deal.
We stirred the pot.
Did. We still have time. In preparation for Halloween, I hope we're all getting ready.
Oh, we are fabulous.
Exactly. I'm going to wear these when I greet the trick-or-treaters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you talk funny. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to all of it, and it's going to be very lovely, and I think everybody's excited, and you and I ending the show will be a perfect way to end. Absolutely.
I was just thinking about when you were talking, I did an hour-long interview yesterday on a talk show, and as I was talking with them, the interviewer kept saying, "Oh my God, you need to write a book. You've had like 5 careers, and we live our lives and we never really think that we're doing anything." And actually yesterday, after I left the interview, I thought, damn, I've done a lot of stuff in my life. I guess there is a book in there waiting.
I'd say there's more than one. So I'm going to send you some information about our direction around that, because Sylvia Somerville, who is a colleague of ours, she's going to be speaking also, but has been writing for 70 years. And she's teaching us the 15 essential ingredients you need to write a bestseller. And I could only name 2 of the 15. Okay. I thought I knew how to write. No, I don't know anything about that. So just because you write a publication or you write a chapter or you write an article, that's not the same thing as being an author.
Right.
So we've put together this awesome program starting in January, 12 workshops, how to get your bestseller done and out there in 2024. So I'm just going to put a plug in for that because you mentioned it. And she also has her own publishing company. So all aspects of getting a book out there are under one roof, and she can help us with that. She's an illustrator too.
Well, she's been very supportive. We talk on instant messaging and stuff. So yeah, we've really done some connecting.
Oh,
I like Sylvia.
Yeah, she's like everybody's mom, So yeah, she's beautiful, and she was here with me for 6 weeks.
Wow.
And we did 2 pilot retreats with some of our colleagues just to get their feedback and what we want to change and shift, and converted it to online. So it's going to be amazing.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this summit, and I'm really excited, and I'm very honored to be a part of it and to share my section of it, of how it's affected me and how it's changed my perception of myself, and how it's now opening doors all over to the world stage, and it just keeps showing up. More stuff came in today, but I'm not going to share it yet.
No.
More stuff has come in, and I'm very excited that what I've worked for all my life is now reaching a level where I always wanted to be.
Cool. That's so amazing. And the same thing for me, just being able to do my show, build new programs. I'm getting calls every day too, families wanting to come and see me. And, I'm working with a couple of kids right now, which I love to do, a 13-year-old boy and his sister. And they come for a half an hour of academic tutoring and a half an hour of personal development work. So it's so exciting to be working with those young people again too.
Well, I was just another thing that just popped into my head. I was just contacted this morning from Hamilton Radio, and they're going to be doing a podcast like this is, and they asked me to be a part of it. And they're on Fridays they have adults with challenges.
Wow.
Mental and physical challenges. And they said, we would love for you to come on the show. We know that our guests would just love to have you on there. And as I told you earlier and stuff, that's part of my life. And I love giving back. And I'm excited to be a part of that, to
definitely
impart and share what I have with those people. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Well, there's so much, and a lot of it, Prince, has to do with the fact that we're now experienced. We have the years behind us. So we worked hard to get those things behind us. And now is the time for us to give back, because it's easy for us to do that, right?
Oh, right. Well, my motto has always been, to move forward, you must give back. And that has always been part of my life. And that's what I've always done.
Right. Okay, well, if you've been listening to our show today, we just introduced you to some of our beautiful speakers that we're going to be entertaining on November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They have all volunteered their time to come and share their stories, and we decided that if we recovered, then you can recover as well. So you've got it in you to do that, and hopefully our stories will support you in that. So I'd encourage everybody to get here. It's $25. What's that? You can come for 3 days, in and out, travel in and out, listen to the speakers that you're really attracted to. And I will just put my contact information up here if you need to contact us with any more information you'd like to have about the summit. Thank you so much, Prince, for being here again.
You're welcome.
And you've been a big support to me personally, professionally, to the show. And I really, really love you. And I really mean it. And I just can't wait to give you a big old hug when I land in Palm Springs.
Yay!
Yay! We've been streaming live on E360 TV, our Facebook page, Self-Worth the Missing Link Superstars, and our YouTube channel. So talk to you later.
Superstars.
Yeah, superstars. Bye
And
for
happy
now.
Halloween.
Yes. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.